me. So I'm here with Jules, who's one of my clients from about a year ago. We started working together, and Jules has kindly come on here to just talk to you guys about her story and what it was like working with me and the kind of process she went through. So thanks so much, Jules. So Jules went through the leadership clarity system, like I say, about a year ago, and has managed to make some amazing progress in her career. So yeah, if you're happy, Jules, we'll get cracking.
No worries.
Cool. All right. So, Jules, if you're happy, just first of all, would you mind just talking us through what your situation was like before we started working together? What did things look like for you?
Um, okay, well, I guess I was working in a quite a busy hospital unit in a pediatric ward as an RN. I love my job, really, really happy, but wanting to get some more experience in a higher level position like a CN. I was having trouble moving forward because I didn't know exactly what they were looking for. So I was trying to cover so many things at once that it kind of left me a little open to not getting everything done well enough. So I decided to seek out some mentoring and some feedback and leadership support. And yeah, that's when I decided to have a chat with you about it.
Super awesome. And what are you doing now then?
I still have my RN position, which is 1 day a week, and I have stepped up into an acting nurse navigator contract, which is 2 days a week, which I'm absolutely loving the experience and the opportunity to try. So it's been fantastic.
Amazing. So, Nurse Navigator is kind of a pretty exclusive in Queensland Health. So it's a bit like a sort of clinical nurse specialist or CNC type, that level, for people in other areas. But it's, yeah, managing people with chronic conditions
That's right.
usually, or the chronic effects of injury or illness or that kind of
Yeah,
thing.
and
Really,
helping them navigate that health system and that
yeah,
journey. Yeah.
amazing. So big step up. And what has changed in your life since being able to do that? Like, how has that improved your day to day and your work life and whatever else it's improved?
Well, in some respects, I guess the nurse navigator isn't shift work. I do love shift work and I do miss it, but no, shift work has been a little bit better family life balance for my family and young kids. On the other side, I've gotten more exposure to things that I wouldn't have whilst in a unit. Things that I wouldn't think about as a nurse that clients may need in the future. I've met some highly, highly skilled nurses, doctors, educators who have shared their wisdom with me and helped me to see things a little bit more with clarity on yes, this is your presentation, yes, this is chronic, but not just what do we need to do now, but what might they need in the future. And so that's given me a little bit of confidence, a lot more education, a lot more insight into that journey. And yeah, it's definitely improved my confidence. And yeah, I'm pretty happy.
Amazing. So, thinking back to when we first started on the program, like roughly this time last year,
Mm-hmm.
what were your thoughts originally as we sort of were talking about what was coming up, the process, and what we were hoping to achieve?
I guess it was building my confidence. It was helping me to see where my value lay, and that I could be aware that I could be able to do other things as well as looking at CN. There may be other opportunities and not to cross them out. It also taught me to stop devaluing the less experience that I brought, and show that I'm willing to learn and will learn. Um, Initially, I thought I am not sure if I will transform too much. I think that was a lack of confidence in myself. Um, and I guess I just had to take a bit of a leap of faith and take the investment into me, and give it my best shot to see if there was something there that I could bring value to and grow from.
Amazing. Well, you definitely did that. I mean, I know, yeah, one of the struggles you had really was seeing yourself in those senior roles,
Mm.
seeing yourself being taken seriously, even though plenty of people respected your experience and your position and what you brought to the team. It was, I remember you really
Yeah.
not being able to envision that initially. So,
Yeah, that internal confidence wasn't there.
mhm. And the kind of mindset shift that you went through, can you talk us a little bit through that?
Yeah, I guess it wasn't until I decided to, well, was pushed by you to take a leap of faith and just submit an application.
Yeah.
And while I didn't get an interview, I later got offered a very short contract to do nurse navigator to cover some leave. That happened literally in the blink of an eye. And while I was sat there doubting myself, I jumped in with both eyes open, both hands out, saying, let me just give it a go and see what happens. And, I was sort of probably more in damage control mindset of let's not break the system, let's not leave the people with more work to do than what they left to go on leave with. And turned out I didn't do a bad job at all. And I got some really lovely feedback from very experienced people who said, "You're bringing value. Well done. Good thing. Good to go and good, try again and let's see how it goes." And then I got another opportunity, and that was just phenomenal. So yeah, that was the major shift was somebody pushed me because they believed, then other people took a risk and trusted that I could try until I learned to trust myself.
Yeah, amazing. And one thing I do find with a lot of my clients is the hardest part is actually just taking, as you said, the leap of faith, like just submitting the application. Because obviously, if it's not submitted, then you're just guaranteeing you've got
Yeah,
absolutely zero
nothing.
chance of getting in, and you really never know.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's amazing, and the fact that you went in so open to trying was really testament to the work you did on your own mindset. Because like I know I said to you several times during the whole process, when you were calling me up with some of the amazing feedback you were getting from the unit, and what I remember saying to you repeatedly was like, you did that, like you
Mm.
actually got that. This is because you were like, thank you,
Yeah.
thank you. And I was like, yeah, right. That's so lovely. But actually, that's all you. Like, I've never met these people. I've never given you a reference. So that was great for me to see.
Yeah.
Okay, that's so great. So, how simple do you feel the process was in going from a sort of complete beginner in this kind of coaching, mentoring mindset space, like getting up your confidence in, applications and interviews to where you are now?
Process itself was pretty simple because you were there when I had questions or wasn't sure what to do or was doubting what I'd put in, say, selection criteria or my CV. You were able to advise me, guide me, give me, I suppose, little pearls of wisdom to say maybe you should be looking at this at a different angle. Have you thought about considering, like, for example, putting my feedback from patients and families into an annexure at the end of my personal statement? I never would have considered doing that before. And now I see that there was value in that because it shows the level of care that I was giving and what people saw, who aren't incentivized to see that in any way. That's a trust thing. Um, and then it was just having those corridor conversations, where you've got somebody passing you by and, oh, by the way, do you have a second? And just chatting about what that looks like for me. Would I be able to get some exposure, maybe some shadowing or professional development opportunities? I wouldn't have done that before. And it made me realize that I needed to go and have maybe that chat with my boss, who was also extremely supportive of me seeking those opportunities at the time. And I had a lot of support from him as well. So I guess it just was it sort of simplified the process in that it showed me what I needed to do, where I needed to do it, and when I needed to do it, and that it was okay for me to be asking these questions and pushing my own needs and wants and exploring those opportunities out there. So the process was natural and it progressed as it needed to, but I found it scary in the beginning, but with the guidance that you gave, it really did simplify it a lot.
That's great. Yeah. And yeah, it was scary in the beginning. And I remember that because you were, going for a higher position within the place you were working and
Mm,
kind of exposing yourself in
yeah,
that way to all of your colleagues. They would very likely find out at some point. If you were not successful, they would find out. I mean,
yeah,
who cares really? But
yeah.
that's still a hard leap to take
Mm,
if you're having struggles. Whereas when I made a similar career progression a few years ago, it was going into a completely new team. I was like,
yeah.
they don't know me, I don't know them. If I don't get this, I won't see them again. So there's
Mm,
definitely those two scenarios that my clients do tend to face.
yeah.
Would you, I guess, have any advice for those people whose their boss might not be as supportive as yours was in doing this program?
I would say just try, just do it anyway. You can do things like this in your own time outside of work. Um, you will reap benefits of it whether you have support at work or not. And if you don't have the support at work, ask the questions, why can't we support this at work? Is it that it puts a detriment to the unit? Is it staffing? What can we do to help me get these opportunities? And if it's just a downright block, then maybe you should be considering other opportunities and not locking yourself in, because personal growth is extremely important in nursing. And if we can't develop and personally grow, it doesn't matter how good of a nurse you are, you're just never going to be happy, and that will filter into your care. So, by taking the opportunity to care for yourself and develop yourself, you're opening yourself up to a wide range of amazing things in your life. So, just take the chance, just give it a go.
Great. Yeah, that is amazing advice. And I think as well, what is really important that you said is asking those questions, because I do find a lot of people I speak to, when I ask them what their blockers are or what they feel the blockers are, they'll give me things, but they're not real things that have been said to them. They're kind of things that they are
Yeah.
assuming or think are blockers.
That's
Um,
often the way.
yeah, we do it in healthcare. I think we say, "Oh,
Mm,
it's too busy. We're too short-staffed.
yeah.
They won't be able to spare me, or like they won't let me do."
Yeah. Or you
Um,
feel like maybe they won't have the faith in you because you don't have
yeah,
it in yourself either. So by not asking the question, you're not opening yourself up to disappointment. But sometimes what you feel isn't exactly what's there. And you
yeah.
just don't know till you ask that question, right?
That's exactly right. Yeah. So I think, yeah, seeing you make that transformation where you did question, I know there were a couple of times you did have to perhaps question a little bit and say, actually, you know what? This does
Yeah.
benefit the unit, even though I'm not going to be working on it directly as much as I was.
Hmm.
And that was really, really amazing to see as well. And again, you built on that yourself. I wasn't there telling you what to ask or what to say, so
Yeah.
that was really amazing. Okay, that's great to hear. So, what would you say was the biggest lesson you learned while working with me?
Biggest lesson. I learned a few. Whoop, dropped the camera. Do you want to go back? Sorry.
No,
Cut.
you're
The biggest lesson that I learned, well, I guess just to try. It
Mhm.
was to stop making excuses and just give it a go. And so, what if you feel like I applied for a couple of jobs, I didn't even get an interview, I didn't even get a letter to say you weren't successful, and I wasn't disappointed in myself. Like I was. okay, I wasn't successful, so what's next?
Mm-hmm.
It's that whole mindset of just try. Failure's just a stepping stone to what you want to achieve, and don't be afraid of that. So yeah, like I said, a few little lessons there, but biggest one was just try.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think the biggest reframe that I do with a lot of my clients, including yourself, is
Mm-hmm.
that using, I don't want to say failure, but like using an unsuccessful application actually as data and as a springboard, right? Like,
Yeah.
because even when you feel like you've grown immensely and then you apply and you don't get an interview, or you interview and you don't get the job,
Mm-hmm.
that's probably people's biggest fear. But actually, it's utilizing that, number one, the energy.
Mm-hmm.
If you're going for a job and you want it, you've given yourself that extra drive.
Yeah.
But also just having the confidence to ask for feedback and ask for honest feedback and utilize it.
Yeah.
That's really hard for a lot of people. And I think the way then were able to do that. Yes, you had access to the people, which is great. Easier than perhaps someone going as an external applicant, but still not impossible. There's always ways and means of getting that. So I think you getting the feedback you got and having the
Yeah.
confidence and the drive to ask for that seemed to really help when you did eventually step up, because it seemed like once you got the success, then along came another and along came another.
Yes.
So that was amazing. So okay, so just try. That's yeah. And again, yeah, not calling it failure, but calling it data or using it
Yeah.
as a springboard. What would you say finally, to someone who's maybe hesitant about working with me, who might be in a very similar situation to what you're in?
My biggest thing that I would say is just ask the questions and expose some of your vulnerabilities and hesitancies and why you feel like you don't want to work with a net or with a coach in general. I think asking yourself those questions, writing them down beforehand, you can make some sense of it. Is it, the financial aspect? Could you ask for some form of a payment plan? Can you see if you can use PDL, that we get paid with our nursing allowance twice a year? What will you get out of this that will maybe make those cons more so to the pro side of why you should work with a coach? And maybe have an introductory meeting. Maybe say, hey, Annette, could we just maybe have a introductory meeting where we get to know each other a little bit, learn about your career, learn about my career, learn about our histories and where we went and how we got there, to see if you can establish a bit of a rapport with you online. And I feel like once you make that connection, it's so much easier to work with you because you come across as a real human being, not somebody who's up
Mhm.
there, been successful, done that, and now showing someone else. It's like it's chatting to someone else who understands the process in getting there, who understands what someone might need, and you know how to help people unlock that from themselves. So just giving you the chance to prove that you might be able to just be that person to get them over the line. But if you don't ask or try, how are you going to know whether it's for you or not? So yeah, get to know Annette and give her a go.
Thank you. Oh, that's so lovely. Well, look, genuinely, working with you over that sort of, I think, about 4 months, was just amazing. It was so great to see your transformation, seeing you take responsibility, seeing you put the work in. The phone calls to say, "Oh my God, they've just offered me 6 months here. Oh, and now they want me to do some more time there." Like, it
Mm.
was so great seeing that you really came into your own there, took every opportunity. And again, like, yes, I can coach that kind of mindset, but it is ultimately up to you and whoever does my program to actually take the opportunities. I'm not in the room with you. I'm not in your manager's office with you. So that for me was extremely rewarding to watch, and I really fully commend you for taking a leap, doing the coaching, and actually taking responsibility and just getting the stuff done. And just seeing you now so happy in that role is amazing. And yeah, and again, like as another thing I say to my clients as well, backfilling or temporary contracts is no less than working permanently. It's
wonderful.
6 months, you're still doing the job.
Exactly. It's the chance to get to do the job and learn from those people around you. And backfill provides perfect opportunity for that.
100%. And also you can, if you don't like it, then you can say thanks but no thanks and head on back. So yeah, that's amazing. Well, thank you so much, Jules. It's so nice of you to come on and talk to me about this today, and hopefully this has helped some people get a bit more clarity on the kind of journey they might be expecting. But yeah, really proud to have watched your transformation, and yeah, can't wait to hear more from you in the coming months, no doubt.
Yeah, here's hoping. Looking forward to working together again.
Yeah, amazing. All right, mate. Okay, take care. Have a lovely day.
Thanks, Annette. Bye.